Hello, party people. So, we're doing this again. It's the weekly suffer session. The weekly Monday media review for Spider-Noir Season 1, Episode 5 in this case. Ow. we can have a few laughs with this one, though, I think. So we'll start with this one. Opening with a shot of poorly behaved women, because of course. And, I had to ask, is this unintentional social commentary? Two single women out partying while just off camera, just to this side here, there's a fellow who's obviously down on his luck and suffering. And drunk and passed out, most likely. And, just walk directly out into the road in the path of a vehicle and, dance around a little bit until your friend pulls you out of, danger, harm's way. Yeah. That's some pretty good unintentional social commentary. Moving on. We finally get a flashback and the origin. Finally. Of course, it takes, I think, about half of the episode to actually get there when they finally decided to do it, but, yeah. So we finally get there. We get the war flashback that we were, obviously expecting. And, it's nice that finally occurs, but it's been half the fucking season, and you haven't explained to us how this guy got his powers yet. You know that's not how comics work, right? You don't do an 8-episode or an 8-issue miniseries of a character and not explain the character's origin within the first 2, certainly. Yeah. But when they finally do, oof, is it ever a disappointment. But, first we're going to talk about some of the action here. Watching Nicolas Cage attempt to operate a bolt action is depressing. Disappointing. It's also a little depressing. He handles it ably enough, but it becomes very apparent very quickly that, all the gunshots, all the muzzle flashes in this are absolutely CGI'd. You know how I know? Because of this. I tried and tried and tried to get the muzzle flash at this angle, and I couldn't. No one is training a soldier to fire over his compatriot's shoulder from this far back. No one. Also, it's kind of hard to tell, but that gun is already locked open. Yeah, the slide is locked back right now. What did I say here? Why does Hollywood always seem to take the wrong... Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's just get on the soapbox right away. Oh, that's weird. That was supposed to have a different caption on it. There was, I had put text here that said, click. What the fuck do you mean, click? Yeah, with the slide locked back, it is physically impossible for a 1911, even with the grip safety depressed, to make a sound of a hammer clicking back and then the trigger firing. Yet somehow in this show, it does. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. But I'm going to get on my soapbox here for a second. Why does Hollywood always seem to take the wrong lessons from their own history? With the success of Deadpool, now Deadpool was a very good adaptation. It's probably it's the comic book adaptation I would hold up as the gold standard for how to adapt a character. Unfortunately, Hollywood took absolutely the wrong lessons from it. And what they did afterwards, with the success of Deadpool, they started having every superhero be a foul-mouthed dick. Or they made them more violent than they should be, even based on canon. Batman in Batman vs. Superman. Batman was killing people. Batman doesn't kill. Yeah, he'll fuck your ass up. He doesn't kill. Which, granted, it's a bit of a bone of contention for a lot of fans, but yeah. Let me see. And then, after the Alec Baldwin Rust shooting, you would think they would learn to improve their on-set safety protocols. so they didn't, impart dangerous lessons to people, like firing a gun over someone's shoulder from behind. The 4 rules of gun safety include the one that says, know your target and what's behind it, and never point a gun at something you aren't willing to destroy, like, say, the back of your buddy's head. So they didn't impart dangerous notions. Like, for example, shooting, what would have been through your ally's head, really, because the guy's head was just barely out of the way of that muzzle flash. And like I say, I did try to catch it. It's very difficult. But no, we'll CGI the muzzle flashes so we don't have to worry about actual realism. On an empty magazine locking the slide back on a 1911. For fuck's sakes. And yeah, like I said, and then it goes fucking click. Like, you can literally hear the sound that would be occurring with this action. Click, click. You hear those clicks in that scene I just showed you. That's not physically possible. Alethea, director girl, not physically possible. That's leaving aside some of the other problems with the sound effects and sound design in this show. And then it fucking clicked. What did I say here? Yeah, that whole sequence is retarded. A locked open 1911 doesn't click, let alone make an uninstructed hammer cocking noise. Also, he was trying to shoot open a door lock. A structural lock. Not a padlock, a structural lock. Let me run that by you again. It's a cage with a lock built into the door, with people standing behind it when the guy that actually shoots it for Riley does it. Yeah, completely ignoring the rules of gun safety, because they don't need to care about them anymore, because they don't have actual, bullets on set anymore. That's great. You have an entire cast of actors who no longer know how to handle a firearm safely. Yeah, Hollywood being anti-gun is one thing, but being pro-stupid is something else again. And yeah, this is the big reveal. This is how Riley got his powers. He got bit by a spider monster. Nothing mystical. Yeah, and I did say here, it was not just non-mystical, it was non-scientifically feasible. This isn't possible. Yes, Peter Parker gets his powers from spider bite. Yes, Miles Morales got his powers from a spider bite. This is supposed to be genetic engineering, but for fuck's sake, really? Yeah. What did I say here? Suspend your disbelief. You'd have to hang, draw, and quarter your critical faculties to buy this silly shit. This silly shit take of an origin story. Yeah. Or an origin event, sorry. I mean, okay, the makeup is good. At least it looks good in black and white. I'm willing to bet it doesn't look nearly as good in color. And I'm half convinced that that's actually CGI. Mostly because the lighting doesn't quite match right in the eyes. Then I said, really? These gentlemen, this is the group photo that we see early on in the show. This is when that photo is being taken. And these guys don't notice the guy who was in charge of the unit that rescued them half passing out against a wall? Yeah. No one notices. No one notices. No. Because it's important for the plot that no one notices. Bullshit. Everything in this show is so bad. In this one episode especially. It just compounds all the previous problems in the show. This one. There we go. Yeah. Tone is all over the place, obviously due to, as the drinker would say,
the message.
I hope Will doesn't mind if I use that. But, the tone is literally all over the place. It goes from being anti-white to anti-female. Well, it started off anti-female. Then it goes to being anti-white, completely nonsensical in terms of how he got his powers, let alone the nonsense of that gun. what's going on in this one? Yeah, and I could play that clip over and over and over again. It's all about the message in this show. What did I say about this one? Oh, yeah. The director of this is named Alethea something or other. Jones, possibly. And one of the main guest characters, apparently she's only in this episode and the next one, is Alethea Faber. It's a peculiar thing to use your name for this character. And yeah, I will not buy the trivia IMDb explanation of, oh, it's just a coincidence. Fuck right off. Guaranteed this is a bit of a self-insertion of her own name. Now, granted, I'm a bit of an egotist too, and if I was writing something, I would absolutely have a character named Ardent in it. But they wouldn't be nearly this prominent. Let's see. Yeah, no, let's talk about the language again. And again with the, I'm going to say it, the ignorant Negro stereotype. These people really don't know how to portray assertion without arrogance. This guy's just a dick in this scene, and look at the smug look on her face. Why? Why? How did this get past dailies? You people don't stop and look at the fucking stuff you're producing? Disgusting. Oh, go back. There we go. Where are we here? Yeah, and Hollywood, the new writers don't seem to know how to make a character assertive without making them an asshole. Speaking of assholes. Yeah. Still the best part of this show. Yeah. I love Brendan Gleeson. In this particular scene, he's kind of a bit of a gleeful villain. Fuck, does he do it well. Yeah. Moving over. What's on the next one? Oh, broad daylight, no costume. Yeah, what the fuck? There were so many what the fuck moments. And this sequence alone had 4 of them. There's, why the fuck are you crawling around in broad daylight, climbing walls, in courtyards no less, you'll see that later, but in a courtyard no less, not only without your spider costume on, but without even bothering to put a mask on. Speaking of which, you notice the hat comes flying off when he's not wearing the mask? Weird. Weird. As what's-her-name would say. And that's all she's going to be referred to as what's-her-name. Yeah, and the slapstick. Oh my god. Nicolas Cage clearly wanted to be a vaudevillian. Or a vaudeville performer. Like, the slapstick here. How is your foot trapped on that windowsill? And then he does that. And takes a fall. A pratfall, of course. And when he gets up... Oh, I'm missing a slide here. Just 1 second. How did I end up missing a slide? There it is. You go there. Yeah, so he takes a pratfall, and then when he gets up, he does this. Really? An ouch take, yeah. Yeah, I said here, Cage would rather be in vaudeville than do a noir. Clearly. His entire shtick in this show is just him aping at the camera half the time. And there's more to criticize about Cage's performance coming up. Don't worry. But first we'll go with, alas, poor Garrick. I knew him. Yeah. This is Andrew Robinson, for those who don't know. He played Elam Garrick on DS9, my favorite Star Trek show. And he's probably one of my favorite actors, especially TV actors. It's good to see him working. It's not so good to see him doing this. And he's looking rough, but then again, he is old. He's 83 years old. So, I mean, for 83, he's doing pretty good. Let me see here. Oh, God. Yeah. This is a bundle of webbing. He stole some files from the office he was breaking into earlier when he had the pratfall. You'll notice this is an open courtyard. Yeah, this wall actually curves away. So this is an open courtyard. And he has suspended, using his webs, a bag of files in midair about, let's say, 7 feet off the ground. I think Cage is kind of tall, so I'm not 100% sure. But He did that. Why wouldn't you just drop the bundle in the bushes or down onto the ground here, where it'll be a lot less noticeable than something going boing boing boing. And if you don't think it goes boing boing boing, when he pulls that bundle down or takes the files out of that bundle, also it's supposed to be a sticky substance. How the fuck did he get the files out of it so easily? The entire thing elastically stretches back up and it kind of flops around in the next shot. I mean, fucking what? Let's see. Yeah, really? You couldn't have just dropped the bundled files out of sight? You had to leave them dangling where anybody should have seen them? Yeah. Moving on to this one. Oh, the writing in this. The writing in this is so bad. Let me see. The quote is, "Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war." Not fucking let loose the dogs of war, especially for a character that goes on in Shakespearean quotations. You could at least get them fucking accurate. And this guy does seem to take serious pride in his ability to quote Shakespeare, which is kind of impressive for a villain. But it also indicates the lack of education of the writers. Even the writers can't help but reveal their undereducation. No wonder all we're getting is slop these days. Yeah, and this is absolutely slop. There's a delayed sound effect. I don't know if I grabbed a shot or not. Okay, this door back here. Lonnie Lincoln walks over, grabs the door way too easily. Bad mime, possibly. But pulls the door off and throws it to the side. And you can very clearly infer that it has already hit the ground a second, most of a full second, before you hear the sound of it hit anything. Terrible sound effects. Terrible sound design on this. What else have I got here? Yeah. Silvermane, this is definitely Silvermane describing how I feel every time I finish one of these episodes. Yeah, Cage. Oh, yeah, I did mention Cage's acting in this. He has an inconsistent, yeah, see, accent. And the writing vacillates between superhero dramatic and straight up melodrama. Like soap opera levels of melodrama at some points. It's absolutely garbage. This one I only have noted fucking what? Ah, yes, because he's talking to Janet, the chubby Latina, who's obviously a better PI than I am anyway. Where did I put that clip again? Yeah, the message. Fuck's sakes. Amazingly, there are actually some bright spots in this for me. This is Flint Marko working a bullet out of his arm by pushing it to this little pile of sand here. That's the bullet, this bulge here. He pushes it up his arm and out this pile of sand, and it just kind of falls into a bin, or a cup with other bullets already in it. I did have to say that is a unique exploration of the Sandman Powers physiognomy. That's kind of impressive. However, a lot of him still looks like it's flesh, and he's not bleeding. Weird. Let's see. Oh, her motives. Yeah, this crazy bitch's motives. Her motives are more all over the place than the writing, and that's fucking saying something. And hey, who doesn't love a superhero story where the love interest is cucking a bad guy and the hero? Yeah. I did say here, I do like to see Andrew Robinson working. Andrew Robinson, like Brendan Gleeson, is one of the bright spots in this. I really hope he sticks around a little bit and maybe gets a chance to be an actual villain. The thing with Garrick in DS9, he was extremely subtle, and it was kind of hard to tell if he was a villain at a lot of points. I really hope he does show some villain chops in this. Let's see. Oh yeah, then the last shot of the show is this. She reveals Ben Reilly's name to the doctor who was performing the experiments on the freaks. Unbelievable, simultaneously desperately romantic, ruthlessly calculating, and viciously cold-heartedly manipulative. This character has no clear motivation. Is it she wants to save her boyfriend, Flint Marko? Is she trying to get out of town with the spider, Ben Reilly? Is she just using the spider? Like, a lot of this is left kind of up in the air to guess, and that's fine if it didn't reflect a bad job of writing, as opposed to, hey, we're dropping these breadcrumbs, and when you go back, you'll see them, which they're not, definitely fucking not doing. Yeah. Yeah, that's the last shot. This will be important in a second. Do I recommend this show? Not fucking likely. Do not watch this show. If all else, if what I'm doing doesn't satisfy your curiosity and you still want to watch the show, go ahead, but know that I recommend against it. And I think Citizen Vigilante was half decent. It had its problems, and I covered that yesterday on my stream. But, yeah. Speaking of streams, tonight I will be on Discordant Dragons with Yiz the Eunuch. You can find that over on her channel. That's YIZZTHEEUNUCH here on YouTube. I'll endeavor to put the link in the description, which means I need my pen. Don't mind the chair. It's a cheap Walmart jolly, and I expect it to collapse anytime. Link. Okay. Yeah. Oof. Do I recommend it? No. And I also said I remain mystified by the increased rating of these each episode. I don't know how that is happening. Now, this, for those of you who don't know, is a Leyden jar. The reason this is kind of important is because it turns out the character Megawatt, the chubby fella who quotes Shakespeare and throws lightning around, or throws electricity around, his actual character's, well, the code name is Megawatt. His actual name, his alter ego, I suppose, is, well, his last name is Leyden. So I'm guessing that was a nod to this. Okay, moving on to... Is this trivia? No. Okay, let's talk about the cast. So we've got Alethea Jones directing. The writers, again, are Megan Liao, Jennifer Frazen, and Steve Lightfoot gets sucked into that. Jack Henderson is the executive story editor. There's a problem. He didn't have a credit in the first 4 episodes. Not that I saw. So, yeah. Another problem, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to here. 20 different people with the title of producer, including 2 who are called executive producer showrunners. Fucking what? Yeah. We'll take a quick swing at the trivia before I'm done here, and this is going to be a short one today. So, the trivia for Spider-Noir Episode 5, titled Betrayal, is when Robbie goes to the VA hospital, the book is English. The book the nurse is reading is All Quiet on the Western Front, which we could see on screen. Didn't really need to be told that. When the cop is interrogating and roughing up the jewelry district robber with electric powers, the cop reveals that his last name is Leyden. In fact, Marvel minor villain Megawatt, his real identity was Dirk Leyden. Sorry, part of that stumble was because of the bad writing of this particular little factoid. This was probably a reference to a Leyden jar. You think? Which is an electrical component that stores a high-voltage electric charge from an external source between electrical conductors on the inside and outside of a glass jar. It was the original form of the capacitor. There is apparently a Wilhelm scream. It's at least the second that's been in this show. So, apparently during a grenade explosion in the flashback sequence. Andrew Robinson, who plays Ogden. We talked extensively about Andrew Robinson and how much I actually appreciate him as an actor. Andrew, turns out, guest starred on the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon in 1977, The Concaper. At least I think it was the cartoon. Let me check. Actually, I don't think it is. I think that's the live-action one. It was the live-action one. Dear God! That's almost as old as I am. Okay, and the female doctor has the same unusual name as the director of this episode, Alethea. Yeah, because the director inserted it. Are you fucking retarded? Or one of the writers did to suck ass. Sorry. Yeah, I'm slowly falling to pieces as I do these. Okay, so my recommendation, fuck no. Straight up, fuck no, do not watch this show. If you haven't started it and you're not a completionist like me, don't fucking do it. If you have started it and you've gotten to this point, if the questions you have not been answered, I wouldn't bet on them getting answered. Certainly not satisfactorily. Yeah, the spider powers apparently come from hooking a spider to a set of tubes and hooking those tubes to a guy's arm. I'm not fucking joking. That's what they think of as genetic engineering. Yeah, there's a reason I say the scientific realism in this show is so bad that it might as well be fucking magic. I'm really hoping that there turns out to be some magic in this, but I wouldn't bet on it. I think they're going to attempt to ground this in really bad science. Okay, so well, that's it. I'm done. So, if you'd like to support me, the means to do that have been scrolling by on the ticker for a while. You can go over to the Ko-Fi, fling me a few bucks. If you do that on a monthly basis, and that is the default, so just so you're aware. But if you want to support me on a monthly basis, I'll put your name in the ticker alongside ZenRab7 and Simon JJ, unless you specifically ask me not to, or give me a different name. Be aware, Ko-Fi may be under a different login than what you're using on YouTube or Rumble. You can give me either your YouTube or your Rumble nick. That's fine. But if you don't want me to use your name, you'll go into the Orangutan Gang. There's one guy in there now. Other than that, if you would like to support me, you can like, share, chat, comment. Well, you can't chat on these. These are obviously pre-recorded. But on the live stream, which I'm going to be moving the live stream only to Rumble. I'm not going to bother uploading them to YouTube anymore. Mostly because that's what keeps getting me strikes. I keep getting copyright warnings, content warnings over encouraging dangerous activities when I'm actually discouraging people from doing them, or telling them that if they're going to do them, here's at least one way to do it slightly safer. So yeah, I have serious problems with YouTube's terms of service, and I never intended to be monetized on YouTube anyway. Other than that, you guys can find me at all those socials that have been scrolling by. Yeah, and as I said, you can find me on Yiz the Unix Show tonight, Discordant Dragons, both on Rumble and YouTube. That'll be 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Other than that, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. Please do use the hashtag July is White History Month to highlight, to highlight things that are against us as white folk, and to highlight especially people who are doing concrete things like return to the land to, advance white people as a people. It's a bit of a call to action, and I do apologize, but we need to come together as a block, a voting block, and a self-defensive block. It's fine to be tribal. Everybody else does it. Why shouldn't we? And also use it to highlight, good things about our history and our heritage. So it's not just, I don't want it to be an oppression Olympics. I also want it to be a celebration of who we are as white folks. And starting day after tomorrow, I'll be looking for the hashtag to come back to me. I will be taking Newfoundland Memorial Day off. That's the 1st. Yes, it's also Canada's 77th birthday. It's been 77 years since they added Newfoundland. Last province. Last one in. Possibly not the last one out, depending on what happens in Alberta. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.